Do your dance. This is Lori dancing because it's so hard to get the anchor up. The wind was so horrible and the anchor was all twisted up. Just raised the anchor and leaving. It's about in the morning. The sun is shining, the weather is beautiful, and Key Biscayne and Miami are behind us. Heading down to Key West today. We'll get there because we're going to do about 17 to 20 knots an hour. Goodbye, Key Biscayne. See you later. Maybe we'll come back on the way back home. And there's the lighthouse of Key Biscayne. This is how you know where the entrance is. That's what the lighthouse looks like. And you can see a bunch of high rises right there. When leaving the Key Biscayne inlet, the water's pretty shallow. It's about 19 feet deep until you get out to about 2 miles, and then there's a big drop off. So you need to be careful coming out for about 2 miles. After about 2 miles, then you can go ahead and you're going to be in deep waters around 200 feet. You can do whatever you want to, but for the first mile or two coming out of Key Biscayne inlet, one needs to be careful. And the shoals at the Key Biscayne inlet are usually on the north side of the inlet, not the south side. So when you're going in, stay as much to the south of the inlet as possible so you don't get caught up in the shoals and ground. The drop off continues, and we're making a turn going south, but we want to stay on the eastbound area of the Foley Rock Slide, and we're going to see it coming up in a minute. I'm turning the vessel using my autopilot so I don't have to steer. It's a lot easier than turning the wheels. And off in the distance you can see the Foley Rock Slide, and here's what it looks like. We want to stay to the east of that. Right there. This is the Foley Rock Slide. We want to stay to the east of it because that's where it's the deepest. We don't want to encounter any obstacles in our way. And now you can see that the drop off continues. We're at 152 feet right now. 153 and keep going. We just reached Foley Rock Slide, which is about 2 to 3 miles out of the inlet. The water depth is pretty good. We're at around 177 feet in depth. We're doing about, let's see, 16 and a half knots, which translates to about 18 miles per hour. And the RPMs of 1919 on the starboard engine, 1914 on the port engine. We're spending about 60 gallons of fuel, diesel fuel an hour, and the engine load is about 75% on each engine. So everything seems to be very good and working very properly now. So we're going to continue the journey to Key West. At this speed we should get there in about 5 to 6 hours, and we'll spend the night over there, fuel up, put some more water, create some more ice, fill the chest with more ice, pick up the Scarab, and then head towards the Dry Tortugas, which will take longer because it's about 80 miles away and we don't want to travel fast because we're going to be towing the Scarab. With the winds behind us, even though without a wind we would be doing about 16, with the wind behind us and the waves also blowing with us, our speed has picked up from 15 to about 18 to 19 knots. Watch our monitor, look at where it says 17, and you'll see the shift and the speed based on the wind and the wave. See it now at 17. Now when you see the wind pick up, look, it's going up to 17.8 knots, and then it'll get up as far as this wind, the waves, look at the variation of our speed. You can see on the screen there's a symbol that says KT, that stands for knots. Right now it's at 16.5. Let's observe it and see. Now it's at 17, 18, 18.4, 19.2, 20, 20.4, 20.2. That's a big difference. 19.2, it goes down to 15 and out to 22. That's a big variation. That's like almost a 30-40% variation in speed. So here's Mother Nature either helping us when we go down south because of the wind. It's a northeast wind. And I hope that it's not like this coming back up, because then we're going to be going against the wind and against the waves and against everything. Now it's down to, look, 12.8. What a big variation. 12.8. 13.4. This is what Mother Nature does to speed. You get up both this side, it will cause a variation in the speed depending on where the waves are coming from and where the wind is coming from. When I say we're surfing the waves, this is really what it looks like. It's actually moving the boat all over the place. Watch it, see if you get the feel of it. I think you'll like it. I feel like I'm on a surfboard with some very strong engine, just kicking butt. The wind's behind me, and the waves are really humongous. Let's stay on it for a little bit and see the difference.
I'm going to take the drawer out now.
If you ever had to listen to the wind behind my wing, this is it. My boat is my wing, and the sea and the wind are behind me, just pushing me along, and my variation of speed is so huge because when the wind comes and the waves come, I get another 5 knots without changing the speed of my props or engine. I don't know if you're feeling it, but I am. I feel like I'm surfing. And this is what it looks like. The spray from the ocean onto the windshield. I'll have to wipe them if I don't want the salt to dry on them. It's April 5th, 2024, and we are on our way to Key West. We had left Key Biscayne this morning at 8 a.m. It's now approximately 12 p.m. and we still have about 50 miles to go. The seas have calmed down a lot. They're 4 to 6 feet before, and now they're very nice and calm. At the wheel is Captain Dorfman, a licensed captain who's been navigating most of the trip, while I, not only a captain, but also an author, have been utilizing my time in finishing some books that I'm writing. By the way, one of my books will be out in about 3 months. It talks about buying your first boat. So, if you know people who are looking for boats and do not have their experiences, have them pick up my book. It's How to Buy Your First Boat by Captain Rami Geffner, MD. So, Captain Dorfman here has done a phenomenal job. And while she's navigating, she's also listening to updates by Garmin to keep up with the latest technology in the Garmin navigation industry. It's 1 o'clock right now on April 5th, and this is the 7-mile bridge that links Marathon to the other island going south, heading to Key West. It's seen from the ocean. This is a 7-mile bridge, one of the longest bridges in the world. It used to be the longest, but now it's one of the longest, linking marathon, the Olive Marathon, to the rest of the Keys, going towards Key West. You can see the ocean now is pretty flat. There's people out here fishing, and the color of the ocean is just absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. About an hour and a half after we had passed Marathon and the 7 Mile Bridge, we were getting close to Key West, so approximately 20 minutes before we got to the entrance, Lori went out and started getting the fenders prepared for the dockage. It's 5 o'clock, and if you remember Jimmy Buffett singing that song. Anyways, we finally got to Key West. This is our approach. I've got us on autopilot right here. This is what autopilot looks like. I adjusted a little bit and tweak it so it gets us to the exact point I need it to be. We're going to enter a channel, but basically this has been home for us for many years. And now we're just bringing little Mama Bertha here, our powered catamaran, into the slip to pick up our little baby girl, whose name is Scarab. Yep, Scarab was born about, 8 years ago after a hurricane destroyed her sister. And we picked her up, adopted her, and now we got Mama Bertha coming to pick her up, called the Seascape. That's Mama Bertha. She's going to pick up little daughter Scarab, and we're going to take little daughter Scarab on a trip to where? The Dry Tortugas, of course, Fort Jefferson.